All right, everybody, how are we doing? How are we doing right now? I am 13 minutes behind, so I do have to dock some points from myself. All right, hold on. All right. Current point total. Oh my god, this gets us into some really murky territory. Let's see, current point total. Hold on. Shit. Current point total 97. We're now at 110. We will vote at some point in the stream on if we're cashing in on some punishments. But that's not important right now. What's important right now is that we just had a major theory semi-confirmed. What have I been talking about for the last several videos? God knows how many videos. Several videos. I have been saying, and the people have been rebelling against it, but I have been saying, Elbaf has a different concept of the sun god than just Nika. They've been talking about some other sun god that is not Nika-like for a long-ass time. What does this chapter confirm? Yeah, they're fucking divided. Some people believe in Nika, the Nika that we know. Some people believe in bad Nika. Basically, Dark Sun God Nika, destruction. Let's read everything that they got to say. There's a lot that came out this chapter. And my overall theory, as you guys know, is that there are multiple sun god devil fruits, because that's exactly what would follow if different groups of people believe in different sun gods, right? That's to a T what Vegapunk's explanation basically says. And that Loki has eaten the other sun god fruit. And then the final piece of this theory is that Blackbeard is going to kill Loki for the sun god fruit. I think sometimes I do theories that do too many steps in one go. For example, if I'd just done a theory last time that basically said there's Loki ate the second sun god fruit, that theory is 100% correct. I added some spice to it because my full theory is Blackbeard Blackbeard is going to kill Loki for the other sun god fruit, and that's kind of too many steps into the future. So people are still, like, on the comments of that video, people are still catching up to the idea of, like, oh, there's another sun god fruit, when I'm already saying, yeah, there is another sun god fruit, Loki has it, it's a sun god fruit of destruction, that was the key point, a destroyer sun god fruit, and then Blackbeard is going to take that fruit. I covered too much in one video. It's too far into the future for the public. It's too far in the future. I should have just broken it up into simpler videos. There's another sun god fruit that Loki has. Blackbeard will eventually... It's a sun god fruit of destruction. Loki's got a sun god fruit of destruction, right? And then do a separate video saying Blackbeard is going to kill Loki for said fruit. I blew too much of my load in one go, basically. All right, continuing on. All right. Let's get the stream likes up to 100, because we basically got a major theory at least semi-confirmed. Polmau, welcome. Thanks for joining again. Good to see you. Fohum, thanks for the 2 penalty for delaying and being late still. I agree. Ender Ayanami, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 28 months. Monthly reminder, read Kagurabachi. Oh my god, at this point we did Morj glazing himself emote. For every minute stream is delayed, we should get half that amount in points. Start practicing Bollywood is inevitable. It's inevitable. It's not even on the list of penalties. For every minute stream is delayed, we should get half that amount in points. No, I am free to delay the stream as long as it's not, like, right up against the border, right? If it's like 30 minutes before stream and I delay it, that's not fair game. But I changed the time over an hour in advance. I think like almost an hour and a half in advance. That's okay. Kagurabachi, I got to tell you about this. I will try and get on Kagurabachi because it's short. I'm going to do Sakamoto Days first. I'm on this new series. I'll tell you guys about it soon. I'll tell you guys about it in a second. Dick so small, I piss on my balls. Thanks for the 10. Details like saying Luffy saying Nika has nothing to do with him and him never actually causing any countries to leave the world government. Feels like we are being told the dawn that Luffy follows versus Teach. Dragon stomps Emu 1/2. And then consider that 16 out of 18 foes beaten by Luffy have been pirates 2/2. Okay, so you're basically saying that Luffy's not going to be the one to defeat Emu. It's going to be Blackbeard versus Luffy as the final battle. I have a lot of thoughts. I gotta go process, really think. The Luffy, Blackbeard, Emu dynamic is very, very complex. There's a lot going on there. Right? There's a lot going on there. Dragon defeating Emu would be really cool, honestly. I would love to see that. As long as Luffy then gets to defeat Blackbeard or whatever. Obviously, that's going to happen. Yeah, Luffy never causes any countries to leave the world government, but he does free them at the end of the day. Behenort, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 15 months. Based on Nolan flashback, One Piece world is in its 16th century. Something comparable to Void Century happened back then, that people started counting years from it. I think it was the first apocalypse. The 2 apocalypse thing is fucking huge. That's too big for me right now. I can't piece that out. I would love to hear people give their ideas for it, but I can't piece that out, personally. It's too big for me right now. Maybe if I sit back, have some time to mentally stew, I'll understand a little bit more or have at least a good inkling of where that whole idea might be going. Yeah. Bunfagum, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 4 months. W Loki fruit prediction. Oda gave it away by having Loki do Luffy's Gear 5 pose in the flashback silhouette. Wait, what? Did he? I don't remember that. I gotta look at that again. Also, random thing. Fucking Colin looks like he's doing the Nika pose when he's running in this chapter. Really random. I don't know if that's supposed to be anything. Yeah. The 2 apocalypses threw me for a loop, says Stormy. Yeah, I agree. Sheriff Laffy, thanks for being Yonko tier member for 28 months. I'm so glad the OG trio rise again. F.U. Sanji. Okay, I don't agree with that last part. I don't agree with F.U. Sanji. Love seeing the interactions between Luffy and Zoro, especially can't wait to see more from all 3. That was actually my favorite part of the chapter. Anytime you have Luffy, Zoro, and Nami together, good stuff is going to happen. A good plotline, good storyline is set to take off. All right? From all the things about this chapter, that was what excited me the most. Even though there's other exciting shit, that was what excited me the most. The next week's video is a full-on analysis video, actually, of that dynamic, because I just like that dynamic so much. I personally feel like you obviously need all the Stride crew members. But if you had to strip away, like, if for some reason or whatever, it had to be totally torn apart, and Luffy's only allowed to have 2 companions from here on, literally the 2 companions that are written to work best with him, straight up, and fill out his character needs best are Zoro and Nami. Those 2 essentially will cover anything that you kind of need in terms of, like, obviously I love all those Straw Hats being there and existing, but I'm basically saying that, like, you can't really tell One Piece the way it's supposed. You can't tell Luffy's story effectively if it's like random. If it's like Luffy, Usopp, Robin, doesn't work. I don't want to get in all the combinations, but Luffy, Zoro, Nami is made to be a dynamic that can exist solely on its own and still be really, really effective for telling Luffy's story. I'm really excited for next Tuesday's video to come out. I put a lot of passion into this one that just came out because I just love the dynamic so much. And again, anytime that shit comes out, that trio comes out, it's just gold. Ursaliath, thanks for the 5. Even after changing my name and going into hiding, Morj still managed to find and beat me without mercy. Thanks for always being there for me, Morj. Aliath, you changed your name, I see. It's a good thing I was able to find you and defeat you. Thanks for the 5, Bed. Nerve AMV Maker, thanks for the 10. Looks like Oda could be using his 3 triggers, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami, to push the final saga into gear. That video made has aged well. If you think it's aged well, watch out for the updated version on Tuesday, because that's a good-ass one. That's a good-ass, solid analysis video. Federico Barros Vito, thanks so much. I don't know how much that is, but I really, really appreciate it. Holy shit. Hey, Morj, this few chapters are giving me strong Asterix and Obelix vibes. I might have said Obelix. I don't know, Obelix. I might be saying, I know Asterix is supposed to be said like that. Asterix and Obelix vibes, American pronunciation. With all the fighting and Roto being tied up and gagged like the Bard. Yeah, holy shit. I didn't even put that connection together. For those of you who don't know, there's a Bard character in Asterix and Obelix called Cacophonix. He's a terrible singer in everything except Asterix and the Normans, I believe. He, basically they all celebrate their final big feast by beating him up. Or not beating him up, but by tying him up to make sure that he doesn't sing. So, yeah, the Roto thing is kind of almost a callback. He's a bit of an outcast in the village, being tied up and gagged like the Bard, while the others drink and eat. Glad to see Oda honoring my favorite comics from when I was a child. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some connection, because, like, One Piece's style, I've always said, like, especially in the early days, it almost feels like a little Eurocomic, like Asterix Obelix type vibes. It's once it gets more serious that it departs from that, because at least from my knowledge, the comics I've read from Europe, like Asterix, Obelix, Tintin, they're more light and whimsical. They never get that serious. Sheriff Laffy, thanks for the 5. First apocalypse is with Nika and ended with the Lunarians dying out. Second is with Joy Boy with Nika Fruit and caused the Void Century. I don't know about that. I don't think there is ever going to be a real Nika in the One Piece world. I think that the idea is just that it's supposed to be people's beliefs that created this. Like, it doesn't, like, Vegapunk outright tells us, which is almost, to me, Oda's most explicit way of telling us, it doesn't matter whether this god is real or not. This is just how it pertains to people's beliefs in the stories and the powers and abilities that manifest from that, right? Because once you go down the, like, okay, so Nika actually is a real thing, it's like, okay, so how does Buddha play into that? Like, Sengoku the Buddha, like, it complicates things in a certain way that I don't know if ever really matters. Like, there doesn't need, like, I think Oda outright told the reader, Nika being real or not is not relevant to the story. It's not relevant to the story. It's more so relevant to what Luffy ultimately represents. Like, Luffy is Nika, the wielder of the Nika fruit is Nika, because that's where the lines between imagination, belief, and reality blur. The devil fruit can make this thing that people believe in real, right? If there is an actual Nika, it's entirely possible it's not like any of the concepts that the Giants have about Nika, right? It could be a totally different thing, you know? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Dick so small, I piss on the balls, thanks for the 5. I think we covered that. No, I think the first apocalypse was what spurred the Sky People to come to the Blue Planet for resources in NL's cover story. Shit, that's actually very, very interesting. There's too much lore and history to piece together now. Before, we just had to deal with one Void Century. Now we have to deal with the possibility of 2 Void Centuries, or like 2 resets. Like, what the fuck? This is just a lot. This is a lot. Behenort, thanks a lot. I have 3 competing guesses on what started the One Piece World Calendar. Okay, so that's what everyone's really interested in right here. 1, creation of Red Line. 2, creation of Devil Fruits. 3, birth of first Joy Boy / Nika. Maybe creation of the Red Line is a big one. I could see creation of the Red Line being a big one. Creation of Devil Fruits. I feel like Devil Fruits might have always been a thing in the One Piece world. Because from Vegapunk's explanation, it sounds like we're never going to get like a very technical origin of Devil Fruits, as far as I understand. Birth of first Joy Boy / Nika. I don't know if that would have restarted the calendar unless it was a Nika of destruction. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. Anthony's crew, thanks for the 2. If Gunko is a celestial dragon, shouldn't she be Saint Gunko? I don't know. Maybe in the God's Nights they don't really specify that every time. Saint Gunko might be fair. Justin Holland, thanks a lot. My 10 minutes. Will of D and Sun God Legacy seem connected. Shit, wait, are you scheduled for today? Hold on. Hold on, man. Are you scheduled for today? Oh, no. Okay, let me send you an email. Hold on. Oh, shit. The big thing that changed is I'm bumping Friday stream times back. I don't know if we updated that on the calendar. Hold on, let me see. Oh shit. And Ryan Belts. Is Bing's Tavern in chat? Bing's Tavern, are you in chat? Justin Holland, Bing's Tavern. We'll get you both guys in. We'll get both you guys in. Will of D and Sun God Legacy seems connected. Yeah, I agree. Will of D and Sun God Legacy seems connected. Luffy starting to learn of Sun God lore is not funny yet, setting the stage for possible growth in powers and self. OG Trio W. I agree with OG Trio W. Yeah, I don't know how much Luffy knowing about the Sun God lore will matter to him, but it's interesting. He just wants to be Luffy. He wants to be himself. Will of D and Sun God Legacy, I agree. Like, the Dawn coming again, I agree with that. I wonder how much the D Tribe has to do with... I mean, I think the D Tribe is the original crew. Bing Tavern says, I'm just chilling, no rush, my man. Justin Holland says both. Okay. All right, we're going to get both you guys in. Let me let a few more people filter into stream. And then let me send you guys just a new invite link. I have both your emails. Should be good. Here. I'm going to set a little timer for myself. Hold on. Justin, I think you're... What? Hold on. Yeah, Justin... No, yeah, Justin, you're first, so I'll get you in first. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Morj, that dude just donated you $960. I don't think so. That's not what YouTube Studio says. I might be wrong, but I don't think that's not what YouTube Studio says. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. Aether, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 22 months. Loki was an arsonist. Guess the Atom Tree will burn this arc. The Atom Tree is said to be able to withstand all sorts of shit, according to Frankie's initial explanation. So the Atom Tree should be okay, as far as I know. But I could see the Atom Tree going down, like by the start of this, right? I don't know if Loki's gonna burn it down or anything. That would be cool though. L, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 23 months. Holy shit, man. Loki definitely looked hurt about the wolf's death. Animals always attached to good people in One Piece. Yeah, you're never gonna see like fucking Doflamingo getting along with an animal or something like that, you know? As far as we know. Maybe he did. No, I don't think so. Did Crocodile... No, time out. Lucci's pigeon likes him. So sometimes that's the case. But I don't think that's the case here. I would love to see Lucci's reaction if his pigeon got fucked up. Hattori. But I do agree, generally the idea of the fact that Loki became friends with all the animals, that's a huge green flag for him. And I liked his reaction too. It was, he clearly cared, but it was a stoic reaction that didn't change the type of initial characterization that it seemed like he was getting, you know? I think he's set to be one of the most interesting characters in One Piece. Akash Panda, thanks for the 2. Also, Chandra Peak 1100 years ago matches the timeline. There's too much here, man. There's too much. I need to look up more about... Hey, Harley, no. I need to look more into the ancient one, because, now it changes so much as to, are we getting, the, Void Century, what, it's we never really had to think about what was the world like before the Ancient Kingdom era and everything, right? So it looks like if the world got destroyed twice, then it's interesting because Joy Boy is said to be the first pirate. So if we're just spitballing a little bit here, right? Joy Boy is said to be the first pirate. So in that case, it's initially what must have happened was... Kosh says Miss Supers. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I missed a few. You're right. Fuck. How'd that happen? Okay. Just scrolled, I guess. Sorry. I'll catch those in a second. Bunfagum, I'll start with you. So with the Void Century, the first thing... So we had Ancient Kingdom initially, and then with that, it did sound like a fresh world, kind of, because Jorbo was said to be the first pirate. So it's what? He's the first person to take to the seas and do shit? So if that's a fresh world in and of itself, was the world, does that mean that there was a Nika that reset the world once way, 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 way earlier and then created the dawn of, a utopia-type world, and then that's what the Ancient Kingdom was? And then we had a second Void Century and reset of the world, and it's led to this shitty world that we have today that basically sucks. That's interesting. Bunfagum, thanks for the 14. Yes, check page 9, bottom right-hand corner. It's the exact same laughing pose Luffy used in Gear 5's debut. Holy shit, let's see. Oh, I know what you're talking about, that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't think it was exactly the same, but it is basically... Here, hold on, let me pull it up. He was lying down in this one, right? He's lying down, so let's see. Yeah, it is the same. It is the same. It is the same. You're right, it is the same. Loki's mischief endangered countless lives. I like how Loki's being portrayed as like a very mischievous character, but also like a very violent and destructive character. So it's not like Loki from mythology necessarily. It's a mix of concepts. It's an interesting mix. It's a unique mix. Atlas 100, thanks a lot. Yo, Morj, thoughts on the relevance of the horse's death? Read that they symbolize passing on to afterlife in Norse myth. What? What? I didn't know about that. The horse of fortune died. So I guess that's just a symbolic Norse thing. That's a really, really great point. I didn't know about that. I guess that's something that you would only know if you're a little aware of Norse mythology. It's like a little Easter egg biota. Maybe it comes into play somewhere. I think we will get a flashback in this arc related to what happened with Loki, King Harold, etc. So maybe we'll learn more about the horse as well then. Akash Panda, thanks for the 10. I think Lunarians and others descended from the moon 1,500 years ago. Calendar changed from Age of Heaven to Age of Sea Circle 1,500 years ago reflects Lunarian migration. They were considered gods after all. Interesting. So they descended 1,500 years ago. Then, if they descended 1,500 years ago, and the celestial dragons dispersed them from the red line as far as we understand. Okay. This is a lot. We've got them coming down. What about the other sky races? Did they all come down at the same time? Why did some go to the sky and some go to the earth? This is too much. That's a great point, though, Akash Panda. I got a lot to look into here. And that's why you're saying also Chandra peak 1,100 years ago matches the timeline. Thank you, Akash Panda. That's very, very useful. Behenor, thanks a lot. Also, aside from Oda's intrusive, horny thoughts winning, I really like Gunko so far. Seems like a really badass new villain and strong woman. Yeah, I would like to see more of what her abilities are. At the moment, it seems like a mummy fruit, if I had to guess, or something. Always curious with new characters, like where are they supposed to scale or whatever? Is this supposed to be like a Yonko Commander level character or more like a Toby Roppo level character? So we gotta wait and see. Also, let's get the stream lights up to 100 real quick. Sith Lord, thanks for the 2. Gunko would be a 10 out of 10 design if she had pants. Well, some would say it's the other way around, that she's a 10 out of 10 design because she doesn't have pants. Atilio, thanks for the 5. I'm booking a king bed with the girl tonight. All right, Atilia's continuous romantic misadventures. I'm booking a king bed with the girl tonight. Why a king bed? We're gonna get sushi. Nice. Sushi's a good pick. Is using Conqueror's Hockey when we're both under the influence consensual? She wants to. Yeah, yeah, I think so. What if it's using Cockwood or both under the? Yeah, you're good. He's using Cockwood or both under the. Yeah, you're good. Bud for Gum, thanks for the 7. Since non-celestial dragons can become holy knights, I'm starting to think that Mihawk might have been one in training, but they betrayed him. That's why he hates the world government / Marines. Is it confirmed that... Okay, what do people think? Is it confirmed that non-celestial dragons can become holy knights? Do you guys feel like that's confirmed here? Datboy says, Morj, doesn't Gunko's ability remind you of Emu's arrows he shot through Sabo? That seemed... Okay, so this might be stupid, but I literally thought that was Emu's tail when he did that. It seemed like a devil tail, but I agree with the arrow thing. That's an interesting point. So is Gunko just not a... God's Knight Gunko... If people are correct and Gunko is some sort of a clone or hybrid or something like that, then this would follow that maybe that's why she's a God's Knight, but not... Because if you look at her eyes and everything, something's a little off with this girl, right? Do people still believe the Ginny possibilities and everything? What do people think about the Ginny possibilities? Oh, you're right. They invited Loki. I'm fucking stupid. They invited Loki. I was thinking about Gunko. Interesting. So if Mihawk was... I'm stupid. Sorry, guys. So you're right. So they invited Loki, which indicates that Gunko is also probably not a holy knight. That's very interesting. I assume that the God's Knights are allowed to live in Morjua. Are they given the same status? Garling is a celestial dragon, right? Garling is a celestial dragon. Shanks, celestial dragon. This is tricky. I don't think that Mihawk would ever be the type to train to be a God's Knight, though. Right? Mihawk training to be a God's Knight? He's just such an independent character, unless this is what made him become independent. The betrayal. Maybe he was once very different. This opens up a world of possibilities if anyone can become a God's Knight, anyone strong enough. Because it means that the God's Knights could be fucking broken as fuck. Because the whole world is their fucking oyster. They could fucking make Green Bull a God's Knight or some shit, right? So now I'm thinking about this. Here's what I'm thinking. All right, listen up. Do you guys think this is an interesting possibility? So, considering it appears that God's Knights can be various different characters, right? Not necessarily celestial dragons. What if end of story One Piece, right? Because there's a lot. So if you look at the Marines are there's a lot of division, right? There's the sword section of the Marines. There's characters like Fujitora, who's a good guy, right? Green Bull, who's clearly a bad guy. Kizaru, who's kind of torn in the middle, right? We don't know the route he's going to go. Akainu potentially has his own agenda, whatever. Do you guys think it's possible that end of story, we kind of see something like if the Marines are kind of in collapse? Because imagine this, celestial dragons flooding the world, all that shit, right? At that point, if you're a Marine, you're probably not going to keep being a Marine, because it's like, all right, our bosses are fucking flooding the entire planet, but I'm a police officer, so I just gotta stay here and like mind to the citizens or whatever, while my own family drowns and shit, and like while we all drown on these islands. Like, I don't think that's gonna necessarily be the case. I think there's gonna be some sort of internal rift or collapse with the Marines, something like that, right? Do you think that some of the strongest Marines could be picked up and taken and added to the God's Knights, the ones that are loyal? So for example, end of story Green Bull, not a Marine Admiral, but like as the Marines sort of fall into disarray or something, he's promoted to God's Knight status because he's a very strong fighter and he's extremely loyal to the Celestial Dragons. Do you guys think that's a possibility? I think that that's an interesting potential route that the story could go. It kind of helps then differentiate between like the Marines that are good, splitting off, like the Fujitoras, etc., and actually trying to help the citizens below, while the Marines that are evil being picked up and added to the God's Knights. I think that's an interesting possibility. All right, let's go. King G, thanks for the 2. Zoro's eyes will open this arc and he'll kill someone. I think we got to let go of the Zoro's eyes opening idea. If Zoro's eye does open at some point, then there's a lot of people who will be like, who will have very earned and warranted I told you so's, because so many Zoro fans have been talking about the eye opening for a long ass time. But I'm at the point where like, if he didn't fucking open it during a battle with the Yonko in a life or death battle against King, I don't know if the eye is opening, you know? Otherworlds JT, thanks to the 5. Do you think Katakuri will get Advanced Conqueror's Haki? Odd how besides Rayleigh, he was the only first mate with Conqueror's Haki, and he may ally with the Straw Hats. I think it will ultimately depend on Katakuri's significance in the story. Look, if we get a story, because you got to remember, the more characters that are added who are strong, like the more strong protagonists who are pushed into the limelight, right? If you give someone like Katakuri Advanced Conqueror's Haki, that is a character that can now contend for Admiral Plus level, right? The more strong characters, just in terms of potential, that are pushed as protagonists this late in the story, the more of a role you now need for them. Because it's just like, oh my god, Katakuri's got Advanced Conqueror's Haki, he's so strong, and then he's got no one to fight at the end of the story or something. That's odd, right? It's just like, what is the point of this? We have so many, we have side characters that are already very strong that need their fights. So Dragon, your Shanks, your Mihawk, those guys, right? Then you've got side characters who are developing in significance, like a Sabo, a Kobe, a Law, maybe a Kid still, who will also need their own roles because Oda's still really pushing them to the forefront of the story. They will also need their own roles, their own fights probably, etc. You've got characters on sidelines who still seem like they're going to be important down the line, like a Yamato, a Boa Hancock, who are also very, very strong. So it's kind of like, if Oda's pushing all these protagonists who are coming up on Admiral level, Some of them probably set to surpass and become admiral level or top tier or whatever, right? At the end of the day, you've only got so many, and then you've got so many characters who are already like Yonko level, like Mihawk, Shanks, Dragon, right? At the end of the day, there's only so many fights to go around, so you can't have to make the stakes pressing, you can't have a scenario at the end of the story where it's just like, we've only got like 10 actually strong bad guys or something, but like 20 protagonists that are all like been boosted to these levels and like significance in the story that they need to fight. So in Katakuri's case, right, I would say this. If, for example, something happens and like some people think Big Mom comes back into the fold, I think in that case, you know who would be a really good candidate to have some sort of final matchup with Big Mom? Maybe Katakuri leading the Big Mom pirates against Big Mom or something like that, because Katakuri's final words to Luffy were like, hey, could you please... Okay, timer's up. Give me let me finish this thought and catch up on supers real quick, and then Justin, I'll get you in if you're watching right now. And then Ryan, give me a little bit longer, and then I'll get you in. Let me finish this thought. Katakuri could, and the next couple supers, Katakuri could potentially... like he wanted Luffy to defeat Big Mom at the end of the day. At the end of the day, all the Big Mom pirates essentially lived in terror of Big Mom, even though they valued her strength and the protection that she provided. If there's some storyline, like, you need more strong characters who are villains added to the story if you're going to keep pushing characters like Katakuri upwards into the limelight, is basically what it is. So I could see a route, but it would require Oda expanding the roster of villains. Behenort, thanks a lot. Oda seemingly expanding the scope of his lore is so exciting. Yeah, this was a huge lore expansion. Huge. Makes the world feel bigger, and I think VC characters might talk about one apocalypse like current characters. Oh, Void Century characters might talk about one apocalypse like current characters talk about the Void Century. Interesting. So if we got the Void Century flashback to Joy Boy's time, then even then they'd be talking about a previous Void Century where then they're like, yeah, shit really went down then. Like, who knows what happened before that? Let's go exploring or something to find out. Maybe that's what made Joy Boy take to the seas. Sean Easton, thanks for the 5. Please add eat a Bean Boozled bean to the punishment list. It will give a quick, entertaining method of chat using points. Oh, I see. So it's like just a 1 point thing or something, and I buy Bean Boozled beans, and you guys can spend 1 point or something at a time. I don't want to have to do something bad every stream, so I'd want you guys to have to actually spend something to make me do something bad. Also, those beans aren't that bad, because I had them when I was younger because my sister thought they were fun. Bane, thanks for the 2. Prophecy made framing Loki easier for God's Knights. Yeah, it made it a lot easier, because it's just like, fuck this guy. I mean, like, this guy obviously would fucking want to eat this fruit, right? Like, he's such a mischievous dude. Justin Nolan, thanks for the 2. Waiting for 10 minutes. I got you in, man. Akash Panda, thanks for the 2. Blackbeard trick world government into making him Holy Knight / Elder and then betray. Blackbeard trick world government into making him Holy Knight / Elder and then betray. I think I don't know about Elder or Holy Knight, but I do think maybe a God's Knight. Maybe that could work. But I think a king is his goal, so we'll do that. All right, I'm gonna get. Let me send you a link, Justin, real quick, and then I'm gonna grab my headphones, and then we'll continue on from there after we get Justin in. Hold on a second here. I will also say that here we go. I will also say that just with the whole previous, like the 2 previous resets, I feel like at least one of them was due to a dark Nika fruit, like someone wielding the dark Nika fruit or something like that. All right. Okay. Let's see this real quick. I think one of them was like a Blackbeard scenario. I also wonder if Rocks had I used to think Rocks would have the Yami Yami no Mi. Now I feel like Rocks possibly had this dark sun god fruit instead. Let me grab headphones real quick before Justin hops in. All right, Justin, I just sent you the link. Just join when good. And then, Ron, I'll get you in after. Give me a second here. All right. Where's our streaming thing? Yeah. Also, we got the stream likes up to 100. Let's get the stream likes up to 150 real quick. The Anime Dimension, thanks for the 10. Part 1, there was a sun god 1,524 years ago, marking the time when the current calendar began. The world was destroyed during that era, which coincided with the presence of Nika. Part 2, says Anime Dimension. The second time the world faced destruction was during the era of Joy Boy. Every time Nika rises, it signifies an era of slaves and great destruction. It signifies an era of slaves and great destruction. Second time the world faced... Interesting. Hey, Justin, good to see you. Hold on, let me share you real quick. Let me just finish my thought real quick with Anime Dimension, and then I'll get you on. The second, 1524, making the time when the current calendar began. The world was destroyed during that era. This also explains why... Okay, hold on. I could see that being the case, Anime Dimension, but I feel like it's just a time of change. So I don't know if it signifies an era of slaves and great destruction. But I think definitely great destruction for sure. And I feel like there's always got to be some major trigger for Nika for why people pray for Nika when they do. And then that leads to the manifestation of him. All right, give me a second here. All right, so we got Justin. Justin, a regular guest on these streams. What's going on, man?
So it doesn't. I mean, there always been Nikas. I mean, Luffy's just the latest. So, if anything, I mean, while it is special, it's not special as like.
Hey, I'm sorry. One second.
A true 1 million. I'll just try to say is.
Hello, can you hear me?
I guess say is one of those chosen many. Like it's chosen, but there's still. I guess you get what I'm trying to say is right. Like.
Could you repeat that, please? Sorry, I missed a little bit.
What I'm trying to say is like, yes, in a way, whilst Luffy is special, it's always special because of who he is, not simply just because of what Nika is, because of who Luffy is. I mean, heck, and it's revealed I mean, Nika could go either way, destroyer, liberator, all the time depends on who the person is, which goes back to who Luffy is, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could argue that the Nika fruit goes two ways, which is like either it comes down to how the user chooses to utilize the fruit, like how Luffy chooses to utilize the fruit, or if there's if there's different concepts of what Nika is that then manifest as fruits. And then like the one that is best suited, like we kind of got the idea that the Nika fruit has a mind of its own. So it pursued Luffy in a sense, in that because Luffy was the one that it's best suited for. So if there's another version of the Nika fruit that's more based on destruction or something like that, then I imagine that would gravitate towards somebody that naturally would be a good fit for it. I think that that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to say it's not the fruit that makes Luffy special. It's Luffy that makes it's the other way around. I mean, or it goes both ways. It doesn't take away from who Luffy is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Luffy at the end of the day, like he even said, well, whoever the sun god is, it's not me. Like he literally says that this chapter. And it's kind of a callback to like when Kaido's asking, who are you? When he's asking like, are you Joy Boy or whatever? On the rooftop, and Luffy's like, oh, I'm just Luffy. Like, it's making it very clear that Luffy is still just himself. He just happens to be the perfectly fitting person to have this Nika fruit at the end of the day.
Yeah. And about the God's Night, I was wondering, like, it's possible that while the celestial dragons are the perfect breeding pools for holy knights, it's possible that it's quite. I mean, a lot of is to prefer. Well, it's to prefer. How's he put it? Man, what's the word? I'm struggling to find words here. Is to prefer selection rounds for
Yeah.
holy knights. they they are a slightly more minded enough to keep be on the lookout for potential candidates outside of like Loki. So I mean
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I think like maybe if it's like elite, but I also wonder if like they specifically are interested in Loki because Loki likely has that special fruit. So I don't know if they know that he has the fruit or not, or if they've just heard how strong he is, or like what the circumstances were with the King Harold death exactly. But I imagine certain things happened that made Loki inadvertently eat that fruit. I don't think Loki straight up killed his father for it. So I'm curious as to why the Gods Knights want him to join and don't just want to kill him to take the fruit. That's my big question at the moment.
yeah. I mean, I'm wait. How I'm not. I mean, yeah. It might have to do with God's line, but I was talking about the. I mean, we were just talking about how the God when it comes to the God's line and who gets to be part of how who gets to be part of. They're the celestial dragons are pretty much the more exclusive breed, the ultimate breed pools for it,
Yeah.
and the select and the selection grounds or something like or whatever you or lack for a better term, I can. But guess what? You're not moving on. But okay, shit. What was I saying?
It's all good, man. You got
Uh,
another thought
uh,
on that? Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, and yeah, it is good to see the OG trio here again, especially when Nami say that those two cannot go anywhere without her, and
Yeah.
it's nice to
Yeah, it's nice to see the classic trio back together. Do you personally have like a favorite trio among the Straw Hats? Like a dynamic, not your favorite three
honestly,
characters, but like a dynamic that you like seeing regularly?
yeah, honestly, I don't like thinking that way because I don't.
Hmm.
But but here's a wait. Chat, I just had enough thought. Wait, shit, come on.
It's all good, man.
What?
It's a Friday. It's all good. We're, it's
The-
a Friday. I feel you.
Okay.
Do you feel like Loki? What do you feel about Loki's character direction? What do you think's gonna happen with him?
No. See, that's. I mean, honestly, anything could happen. I mean, honestly, but heck. I mean, I'm starting to wonder if. I mean, I still think like Luffy might still be onto something when it came to him, but I mean, there might be there. Despite what the Giants just say, I still feel like there might be a little bit more story than what they're saying, even if they don't.
Yeah, I definitely agree because it's kind of like with Odin. With Odin, we're introduced with this whole elaborate reputation of what he is. Like at this age he did this, at this age he did that, all of that stuff, and then Odin turns out to be a really good guy, just very misunderstood. I think that's the same with Loki. The difference is that with Loki, we're being told that he's accused of something that's pretty much unforgivable. Whereas with Odin, that never really happened. So we need to get to the bottom of what is the truth about Loki and King Harold? Like, what actually happened there? I personally would not be surprised if Loki's story, if Loki actually did love his father, and it is going to be one of those tragic backstories where Loki loses his father and is then blamed for his father's death. I think that's the direction that we're heading right now. I think King Harold is going to be a very beloved character at the end of the day.
Yeah, hey, but I just more thought when it came to the saga, when it comes to the saga Nika lore thing. I started wondering if whenever I once said about certain foods gravitating toward each other, like
Yeah.
food and certain users, particularly the flame fruit.
Yeah.
I mean, I start this sort of brought this whole lore thing start. What if certain fruits are met and their users supposed to gravitate toward each other, like certain fruit users are supposed to be meant to be the protector of certain other.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like maybe in every iteration, like the flame fruit user is drawn close to the Nika fruit user and maybe protects the Nika fruit user or something like that.
Yeah,
That would be interesting. I think that's a bit too Naruto for me, but I mean it's not the same. But like, I think it's all for me. It's already enough that like the fruit is often drawn to, a certain type of person. So then if it becomes a duo of fruits, like the no Mi user is always drawn to the Nika fruit user, then it gets a bit much for me. But I could see it being a possibility. I could easily see Oda doing that. I mean, Sabo's got the no Mi right now, and he still plays that role for Luffy, so it would still fit.
Heck, it goes back to what you're saying about Luffy can't be a pirate king on his own. I mean,
yeah,
think about it, no one can be a truly pirate king on their own. So, and I would say maybe it goes to maybe Nika could be the sun god on his own. So maybe there's a reason the Liberator failed because something happened. So people were close to him failed or something like that.
No, I feel like Joy Boy probably didn't have as good of a crew as Luffy did, so I think that's a possibility. Yeah. Also, man, I think we're at the end of your time. You got any final closing thoughts, real quick?
No, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the time scheduling thing. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again. I think Fridays I started streaming a little bit later, so I think we didn't change that on the calendar invite. So I'll just make sure that that's changed in the future so that we don't have this happen again. I'm sorry about that, but thanks for coming through and thanks for the support as always, man. Everybody shouts in the chat for Justin, and yeah, thanks for coming through, man. I will talk to you later.
You too.
Bye. Peace, man.
Bye.
All right. 1 second, y'all. All right, everybody shouts in the chat for Justin as usual. That does sound like Naruto, to be honest. I don't know. It's just because it sounds like Naruto is not the worst thing in the world. You know, Naruto's still a really good series for many people. Ryan, I know you're still Bink's Tavern. Ryan, I know you're in chat as well. So let me just drop you a link, and you can join whenever you feel like it. So give me a second there, and then let me catch up on these supers real quick. All right, hold on. All right. I'm sorry about that. Schedule. Yeah. Here. Let me just send you a thing. Here we go. Just forgot to. We started streaming later and later on. Updated link on Fridays. I don't think I made the calendar adjustments. All right. Let's get the stream likes up to 150 real quick. Anime Dimension at a part 3. I'm sorry, man. Pirate King tier. Okay, since Nika played such an integral role in these transformative periods, he was interpreted either as the warrior of liberation or the god of destruction. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Anime Dimension. If you're still here, I now fully understand what you're getting at. So, Nika, you're saying that at the points that of pivotal change, Nika always showed up. And so, depending on people's view of him, kind of like how characters like Luffy and Roger have different reputations depending on what people see of them or know of them. Like, Nika was just a figure that would appear during these pivotal times, pivotal eras, and then the beliefs in him that then spawned were basically based on people's different perceptions of what he did. So it does raise the question of, like, was Nika a real god or not in the One Piece world? I personally, again, think that that's not something that's ever going to be answered or explicitly addressed in the story. I think it's just going to be I think it's ultimately just going to be the fruits at the end of the day. But I do feel like, whether or not, I don't know. I feel like we're still going to see the destructive version of Nika. It's the first era thing. I think we're going to see the destructive version of Nika probably ended the world once. And I feel like because the age that we knew of before the Void Century was considered like a golden age, like the Ancient Kingdoms age, I wouldn't be surprised if a good version of Nika brought about the death and rebirth of the world for that era. So let's say first era, then second era. Second era concludes with Void Century War. And then we're currently in the third era, okay? I personally feel that if there's different iterations of Nika, the end of the first era, it was brought about by the liberating version of Nika, okay? That's what spawned a wonderful society, which is the Ancient Kingdom Society, right? That's why the world seemed like in such good shape during that period of time. Then we get the Void Century, and now we get the New World, which is basically really bad. So we don't know what exactly happened at the start of this era, but it's definitely like the good version of Nika didn't win out that time, as far as I can tell. Samuel Hart says Big Mom God's Knight. That's an interesting possibility. Big Mom joining the God's Knights, I don't know though. It would have to be under some sort of control or influence or something, you know? Also, we got Ryan now. All right, let me pull this up. Hey Ryan, what's going on? For those of you who don't know, Ryan, regular visitor as well. Let me actually just link your channel real quick before we get any further. Ryan is a One Piece YouTuber as well. Wait, your audio's a little bit... Is your audio hooked up? Can I hear? It's my issue. I'm hearing you connect to audio. Can you say one more thing? Hello, hello? Testing. Let me test mine. Okay, my stuff should be working fine, as far as I can tell. Let me link him to your channel in the meantime, man. Let me link him to your channel. Alright.
Test.
There we go. Alright, Ryan, I can hear you now.
Very good. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Alright, here we go. Alright.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, let me just paste this real quick. All right. Yeah. So we got Ryan back. He runs Bink's Tavern, which is another One Piece YouTube channel. Yeah, man. I just pasted the videos for anyone who's interested in checking them out. I think you're close to 10K still, right?
I am so close to 10K.
If you guys want to get him over 10K, I'm sure he would appreciate that.
Oh, always.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Oh, not too much. So I brought a few things we can do. We can talk about the chapter that just got out, or I can kind of dive into a different theory, or again, I can leave it up to chat.
Is the theory related to the chapter? Because then I'd be very interested in hearing it. Because there's so much that came out of this chapter. Oh, you can give your theory if you want to give your theory.
I'll be quick on the theory, and then if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about the chapter.
Sounds good, man.
Okay, so the theory is that, and I think it's a popular one from back when. People haven't really talked about it because it's not near as relevant.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on Aokiji being the iceberg that sinks the Titanic captains?
Shit, that's actually a really, really funny way to say it. Aokiji is the iceberg that sinks the Titanic captains. Okay, so that's a funny way of saying it. All right. I personally think that with Aokiji, there's definitely something... I definitely think that he's got some sort of agenda. I definitely think that there's some potential betrayal between him and the Blackbeard Pirates happening at some point. All right? So definitely believe those things. I don't know if he's going to sink the Titanic cap, because it's like, how important are the Blackbeard Pirates for the rest of the story? We know they need matchups with the Straw Hats. But At the same time, I've slowly begun to believe that a lot of the Blackbeard pirates may not be the endgame Blackbeard pirates. Does that make sense? I think especially the newer
really?
ones. Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into this theory.
Sure.
How about you share a little bit about what you think with Aokiji? Because I personally think that there's room for maybe some of these Blackbeard pirates to be replaced, actually. And I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
It's a big one that I'm saving for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. With Aokiji, specifically, I'm just going to call back to Punk Hazard when he's talking to Smoker after Doflamingo attacks Smoker and he kind of saves him there. And how he says, I'm still the same person.
Yeah.
I think because, and I'll call back to X-Drake and how he was a secret sword member within the Yonko crew. I think there's a chance that, Aokiji is a secret sword member to the point where he had to keep his front up even with Garp showing up. Because when Garp was there and fighting on Hachinosu, he more or less I felt like coaching Aokiji, like, you're going to have to hit me harder than that. I didn't train you to be this weak.
Yeah.
And just kind of like kept on then at the end saying, you're all the future of the Marines.
Oh.
All out there.
Yeah. You could interpret that line as also being interpreted to Aokiji. That's an interesting idea. So do you think Akainu kept Aokiji on as a member of Sword? Because I've heard some people say that. I just don't know. Like, it's very hard for me to tell with Aokiji as a character, like what his direction is. Because I could see him with the revolutionaries also, or something like that.
Oh, I could too. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's more that Aokiji was splitting with the Marines, and since Garp fronts the sword, the team.
Yeah.
He called him on the way out the door, saying, "Hey, you don't have to be part of the Marines. You can be a sword member and kind of do your own thing."
So you think Garp legitimately was just like he was in on it the whole time when they were fighting and everything like that, and they were just
that's
interesting. Okay. I could see something like that. At the same time, I just don't know. Like, would he then have captured Garp for real at the end of that fight? I don't know. He drove a stake through his stomach.
He did. I think that was a hole made by Shiryu.
And, yeah, maybe keep that alive there. I could see something like that. Because I'm gonna lean more towards like Aokiji either doing his own thing or revolutionaries, but I could definitely see him being part of Sword, because like most people I know talk about Akainu having like roped Aokiji back in or something, but then I think that undermines their duel. So if it was Garp instead that got Aokiji to join Sword, that could be a cool, interesting possibility.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it might also explain like a little bit. If we want to play that game, then Garp and his squad, they raided Hachinosu, right? If they had intel on what to do or what time to pick to raid or something, maybe Aokiji gave them that or something along those lines. I still personally am going to lean towards, I don't think that Aokiji helped Garp in that raid. And I don't think he's a Sword member, but I could definitely see the possibility at the end of the day.
I think it may be a dynamic where, because I think we're going to see some parallels between God Valley and a potential Kobe-Luffy matchup when we get down to the Garp fallout. Not Garp fallout, the Blackbeard fallout.
Yeah.
And it could be a scenario where tides are turning. Maybe Luffy's winning, but like the rest of the crew or everyone's having troubles, and that's when Sword as a whole show up.
Yeah.
So do that final raid, and that's when Aokiji kind of flips the script and turns the tides of the battle.
No, that could be interesting. That could definitely be interesting. That would explain his significant role, because we know Aokiji is one of the biggest. Like, Oda's emphasizing him as one of the most important players in the upcoming storyline, because like in that big Vegapunk speech, like Aokiji is one of the 12 characters picked. I'm like, holy shit! So what's his deal then? Why is his storyline so important?
Yeah, 100%.
So beyond that, like, how'd you feel about the current chapter? Do you have any theories related to anything that came out from this chapter? Because this chapter was pretty insane.
I know I'm probably running close on time, so I'll say one quick thing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go off what you guys had already talked about with the multiple sun god personas.
Yeah.
And how every time a sun god shows up, the people in charge are the ones that are kind of uneasy and really don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like a sun and moon, like when the sun's up, the moon's down, and it rotates. So whereas the first Void Century, or first time Nika showed up, it was actually Nika showing up and he took over, and that's why they got so advanced in civilization with technology and positivity. And then he got overthrown by the dark sun god,
Yeah.
which is now Emu being the dark, and now it's Emu's turn to be overthrown by Luffy being the new sun god.
Shit. Wait, so if Luffy... First of all, that's a great idea. I really, really like that. I like the idea of the cycle. Second, does that mean that when Luffy frees the world now, it's only good for like the next 800 years or something like that before everything goes to shit again? Because that would kind of suck. I like to think that Luffy's going to fix things for good, but I guess that's just not the way shit works. That's a really good idea. That's interesting. I like that.
That would be a hard one to answer because you have to like almost neutralize all devil fruits in the process of taking out Emu to remove the idea of a new Emu showing up.
Yeah. No, I think that could be really cool. I think learning about the era before the Ancient Kingdom, and if that was like a similar severe era of darkness or something like that, or shit was really bad then, I think that would be perfect and really cap Oda's idea of like this cycle that's been happening. Also, the 1500 years thing is interesting too that people were talking about in comments because that's
I saw that.
close
I
to
had not really.
Yeah. It's close to double 800 years. I got to think about that
So
a
it's
little
like
bit.
an 800-year cycle.
Yeah, something like that. That could be a really, really cool tidbit. Shit, you actually gave me a lot to think about just now. I don't know, man. Oda's dropping some crazy stuff. I wonder how much is like him always planning it, and then how much is him thinking like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if this was the case or that was the case or whatever.
And just like retcons in the middle.
Yeah,
Like he's got his little murder board up of just strings tied everywhere in the middle right. He goes, you know what?
Yeah, fuck it. We're just dumping we're getting rid of all this shit. We're going to make 2 void centuries instead of 1 void century. Because, dude, you got to get bored at some point of, like, sticking to the same plan, story-wise, for, like, 5-10 years straight. So you probably just add more wrinkles as it goes. So, yeah.
Like, he made the story and he planned it on being 5 years. So, I mean, we're so far past that, you know he added something.
Yeah,
like,
he was definitely came up with some new ideas. Yeah, man. So do you have any closing thoughts that you want to give the people? I think that was a really juicy one that you just broke down, by the way.
Oh, I think I got most... I really hadn't thought of 2 different Nikas. I thought translation, it would just be which translation was right. So when you guys kind of spurred that thought in my head, so I'll probably do some research and see if I can't put something out on it.
Yeah.
I have a little bit different theory on Loki, where I think he'll be a crewmate.
Okay.
So I've got that video on my channel if anyone wants to check that out. It is Bing's Tavern. I appreciate everyone that's been coming to view me. I know I've gotten a lot of followers from here, so big shout out to the chat. Big shout out to all One Piece fans. It's something I love doing, and you guys help me keep doing it, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, if you all want to support Ryan, then definitely go check out his channel. He's close to 10K. Yeah, the link is at the top of the chat, so just hit that whenever you get the chance.
And I'll go ahead and cheers this out.
Talk to you later, man.
Cheers.
Peace. Yeah, this is his channel if you want to check it out. And so everybody W's for Ryan because that was an interesting piece that he dropped there, especially with the double cycles. And I'll add, let me try something. If you want to join stream or you just want the cool posters that he had in the background, that I also have in the background, you can get it at the Morj store. Let me try something. Hold on, let me try something. I think we've got chat commands set up. Hold on a second here. Let me try something. Shit, I thought... Okay, let me try it. All right, ready, set, go. JWP, thanks for gifting 5 memberships. Holy shit, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And everybody in chat, say thanks to JWP as per usual for coming through on stream and gifting the good people of chat all these memberships. I really legitimately think that half of you in chat who have memberships are thanks to JWP. So everybody, as usual, say your W's to JWP. Thank him because if you're lucky, one day, like Santa Claus, he might come through and gift you a membership. Joseph S. say thanks. Brooke is the GOAT. Say thanks. Brooke is the GOAT. I swear you get gifted by him pretty frequently. Kora Sensei, Scon, TY say thanks. And let's try this. Oh, it didn't fucking work. God damn it. I thought we had chat commands set up. Hold on. It didn't work. It didn't work. Let me try one more time. Okay, let's try this. Let's test this. It's not working. I got to do this manually. All right, here we go. Yeah, if you're interested in hopping in on streams yourself. If you want to schedule time on stream to get on here, share your ideas. Once a hot chapter comes out, you want to come out and share your ideas, then you definitely can. It's part of the, it's one of the perks of getting the top tier of the posters. So if you're interested in that, then feel free to check it out at the Morj site. Make sure you check out Binks's Tavern's channel when you get the chance. And yeah, let me pin this as well. All right. And where are we at? Catching up on supers. Okay, hold on. Okay, Samuel Hertz is Big Mom God's Night. I just don't know about that. If you're right on that, that's an insane call. But Rook is the GOAT. Thanks a lot. Man, Sanji, Zeus, and Roto are the most down bad brothers in One Piece. Absolute no Riz. Well, Sanji's got Riz right now. He's got Riz right now, just not when it comes to Nami. Also, let's get the stream lights up to 200 real quick. BTW, when the Wano video out, it's January and we're still waiting. Don't worry. Just sit tight. Next week is not the Wano video, though. Hench me. Oh, shit. Why did the stream shut down? Guys, remind me at 7 p.m. we'll do a vote on the late penalties. 7 p.m. EST. Henchme976, thanks for the 5. Isn't it impressive how Dragon can look east in the Grand Line's broken magnetism? Is this a facet of the weather fruit, or is he just a born compass? Dragon's ability to look west is look east is very impressive. It is very impressive. Just because, as you said, it should be almost impossible considering the way the log post works, but Dragon manages, you know? King G, what if he's not even looking east? He's just looking in the direction that he thinks it is east, but you can't tell in the Grand Line, so he's just always wrong. King G, thanks for the 5. If Loki's fruit is another version of the sun god, what if Blackbeard shows up, kills him, and takes his fruit in Elbaf? Could be what it takes to make Blackbeard into a top tier. King G, where have you been? Check out the video I dropped 2 weeks ago, man. You're a little bit behind, but you will enjoy that video. I'm 2 steps ahead of you, but you will enjoy the video. Zolden, thanks for the 5. You mentioned you started watching your new series. So how you enjoyment, mob? Right, so I did want to put you guys onto a new series. If you have not watched this yet, or heard of this series yet, I strongly recommend checking it out. It's a series that I found. It's called Mob Psycho. So I'm a few episodes in. It's a niche series. You guys probably have not heard of it. But I'm a few episodes in, and I'm very much enjoying it so far. It is funny. The animation has a lot of character to it. Like the animation style has a lot of character to it. The action scenes have been pretty cool so far. The opening action scene is phenomenal, by the way. And I'm liking the character so far. I'm liking the character, and I'm liking the writing, and it's only been 3 episodes. So I'd strongly recommend you guys check out Mob Psycho. You guys will thank me when you give it a shot. And some of you guys have heard of it, it sounds like. But yeah, I'd suggest check it out. I'll probably watch a lot more of it soon. Oh, and the best part is that it's a completed series. So there's only like 3 seasons, 12 episodes each. So I should be through with it soon. So you guys check it out. Stormy says we told you. All right, I'll come clean. Mob Psycho was recommended to me by you all, and I pushed back against it because I thought the main character looked like a dork, and he had I don't know, and I just don't like telekinesis as an ability and stuff. I'm still enjoying it despite those things, and I like the main character. It's good. I like it. It's hard to dislike. It's a cool series. I like it. I still just don't know how I feel about telekinesis as the main power, but like I don't know what it is with why is it with this author? Is it by One or Murata? Who's it by? I just don't know why, because I know it's by the same creative mind as One Punch Man, right? He seems to really like the idea of telekinetic abilities, because in One Punch Man, it's kind of like every character is either just a normal, strong fighter, or they've got fucking telekinesis. There's no in-between for superpowers. You have some exceptions, like Blast has some bullshit that we don't really understand yet, or like, if you're an alien, maybe you have some other bullshit. At least out of the humans, like the human fighters. Then you have some cyborgs. You've got a couple cyborgs here and there, like Genos and Drive Knight and stuff like that. But for the most part, I guess technology, psychic abilities, and then just physical strength. Those are the three categories. I wonder why. I just don't really get why that is. But he seems to gravitate towards that stuff. Anyway, I'm enjoying Mob Psycho. Sampat Sakesh... Durex Rider says, look as a Morj. Here's the thing, though. When he gets really angry, his hairstyle changes too, and then he doesn't look like a dork anymore. And then I'm like, oh, he's kind of cool, actually. It's not like looking like a dork is bad for a main character. Luffy looks like a dork, you know what I mean? But I don't know, there's just something about it. It was also following like a middle school kid, so I was like, it just... Initially, from everything it had so many things off the bat, like telekinetic superpowers, overpowered hero looks lame and not interesting to me, middle school kid. So all those things on the surface, have you ever heard of judging a book by its cover? I definitely did that, in case you've heard of that phrase. I judged that book by its cover hard. And I would have never have tried it if you guys didn't force me to watch that one anime clip that changed my mind about it. To be honest, you didn't have to You guys did not have to make me watch that anime clip to make me change my mind. You guys went overboard. You could have just had me watch the opening scene of Mob Psycho, which is a really, really cool action sequence on its own. You could have just had me watch that, you know? It opens with a cool action sequence. I could have seen that, because I was telling you guys, I was like, I just want to watch an action anime. You know? I just want to watch an action anime with some cool action. Yeah, I just want to watch an action anime with some action. You guys could have literally shown me the opening anime scene of Mob Psycho, the little intro, and I would have been like, okay, I'll try it. But you didn't. Instead, you fucking sent me some spoiler-ass fight from like God knows how many seasons down the line. Luckily, I blotted all of the characters from my memory. I know there's a fucking teleporting dude, though. Anyway. I could have just been like, Morj, if you want a good action sequence, why don't you watch scene number 1 of Mob Psycho? Instead, you guys were like, no, you have to watch fucking the rooftop battle versus Kaido equivalent of Mob Psycho. It's like, okay, thanks, guys. Anyway, you guys put me on the right thing. Put me on the right track. I appreciate it. Sampatsikesh Revolpathy, thanks a lot. Yo, Morj, long time. Irrespective of killing King, what are your thoughts on Loki of killing the King Herald? What are your thoughts of Loki bent on destroying the world? Is it due to his interpretation of Nika? I think it's very much due to his interpretation of Nika. If you see the world as very flawed, then wanting to destroy it isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? If you go about it the way Blackbeard does, it's a bad thing. But wanting to tear the world down, Luffy technically does that in a lot of cases, you know? He goes to fucking Drum Kingdom and destroys their government. He goes to Dressrosa, destroys their... He turns the whole fucking island to rubble. He punches a giant hole through the island and destroys their government. Luffy does that everywhere he goes. So it depends on your interpretation, I agree. And I imagine Loki is not a character like Blackbeard. JWP, thanks for the 5! Going to a birthday party, so I can't stay along, but I loved your video about Loki's fruit. It was great. I'm definitely on the train with Blackbeard taking the fruit. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm on BKL. I might start pushing that, BKL. That might be my thing for this arc. I might be on the BKL train. That might be my thing. So... The thing with that is that the one thing I regret about that video is I should have just pieced it out. I did too much in one video. In one video, I basically made the whole argument that there is a second sun god fruit, right? That it's a sun god fruit related to a god, like destruction, like the idea of destruction, and that Loki has it. I made that whole argument, and then on top of that, I made the argument that Blackbeard is going to kill Loki to take said fruit. That's too much for one video. It's too many steps. I should have just done the first half of the video explaining that there's a second sun god fruit, and Loki has it, and it's a sun god fruit of destruction. That's why he wants to destroy the world, and it's clear that a lot of the giants of Elbaf believe in a different type of sun god than what Luffy is. I should have just made that one video. It would have been 100% correct as of this chapter. Well, we still need the confirmation that Loki actually has that fruit, and said fruit exists, but it would have been 80% of the way there with this chapter. But I did the whole shebang with that video. I did everything. So now we got to wait like a million years before it's confirmed or denied to be true. Anyway. I did 2 videos in one. I should have just done 2 separate videos. Duck20, thanks for the 5. Maybe the first Nika was the Liberator, the second was the Destructor, and Luffy will be the God of Laughter. I just feel like Luffy is also the God of the Liberator. If you were to describe... Honestly, before Wano, if you were to describe Luffy as one thing... right? Liberator, Destroyer, or Laugh, or like God of Laughter. You might have said all three, but if you had to pick one, you would probably say Liberator. Then at the end of Wano, it's like, oh, the thing that really matters is that Luffy laughs a lot. It's like, and he smiles a lot and he's goofy. It's like, okay, I guess that's what matters the most. I mean, it's supposed to be tied to freedom regardless, right? So laughing warrior of liberation is really what Nika is, right? Here, let's read. I'm so with the specific types of gods that exist or concepts of sun gods. I am kind of waiting on either Sandman's translation or the official translation. Because I kind of want a bit more clarity. So let's see. Fucking dumbass Chief is saying no one can say for sure which translation is accurate, which is in real life also the case. The sun god isn't a ruler. He's the god of liberation, more like destruction, laughter, right? So they're talking about different ones, right? The world has been destroyed twice before. Was he the world's savior or the great destroyer? It's just like... contagious booming laugh. So it could be an evil laugh if you've got the destroyer concept, and Luffy's silly laugh if you've got Luffy's concept. Yeah. Wrench Dodger 2000, thanks for being a member for 23 months. Your Wano poster, much like the arc, is falling off. Fuck, the Wano poster's falling off? Where is it? I don't think the Wano poster's even up. Oh, no, it is up. I do agree that the Wano arc fell off after Act 1. So it's symbolic, Wrench Dodger. Nice catch. Mr. MMF2, thanks a lot. More Jussie, this chapter reminded me of your who are the actual main characters of One Piece. Also, I really love the pacing of this arc. I'm glad that you enjoyed that video because there's an updated, like, much deeper analysis video of that trio coming out this Tuesday. So if you enjoyed that, I've got a much more in-depth version of that because I just really love that trio. I really, really do love that trio. Gosh Panda, thanks for the 5. Love the consistent sun symbol on Nika's shield, Kazuki Crest, Kuma's Church, Alabasta, and Skypiea. That's a really fucking good point, because I did not recognize that. Let's take a look. So we've got it there. Kazuki Crest. One Piece. Kazuki Crest. Is that? Yeah, you're right. It's there. Kuma's Church, Alabasta, Skypiea. Holy shit, that's a phenomenal point. Guys, phenomenal point by Akash Panda, who tends to make really good points. Yeah, if you look at all those symbols, they all have the sun god's symbol in there somewhere. The same symbol that's on Nika's shield. I wonder if we'll get a version of Nika, maybe if somebody else has like Loki's version of the fruit, if that were to exist, where you got the sword and shield combo as well. Interesting. Ah, shit. This lore goes so deep, it's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's on fucking Wiper. It's on the sky. Wiper, it's a little bit different, but it's there. No, you can see it. In oh my god. Here, let me just show quick. I don't like showing panels on a chapter stream because it's just a little too close to comfort to the release date. But here, let me show you guys real quick. So it's also here, the same symbol that's on the shield. So great point, Akash Panda. Dude, that gives me a ton to work with. That's amazing. If I ever do a video talking about this stuff, you will definitely be credited. That's phenomenal. Attilia, thanks for 2. Season 2 of Mob is peak. I like the first 3 episodes. I'm in. Like, I'm already in. You guys could have just... You guys started by... I swear some people said, like, it gets good or takes a little bit to get good or something. But I think it's good from... I thought it was fun from the first episode. I should have just tried the first episode. Somebody said before that I'm the equivalent of the green eggs and ham character, and I definitely feel that. Because I don't like putting time in. I think I'm just hesitant to getting into new things when they seem too foreign or, like, it just seems too... I don't know. I need to feel a level of certainty that I'm good. It's hard to explain. I don't know why I'm so averse to trying... to getting into new things. I have preconceived notions that are hard to break. The Outback Panda, thanks for Yonko to your member for 21 months. Hope I'm not raining on anyone's parade, but man, really not feeling Elbaf so far. The Strahd characterizations feel so regressed to me. Outback Pandas, I feel like this is actually going to be an arc that is going to be very, very strong for the Strahd characterizations, for Strahd character writing, because one, it's a very late arc in the story, final saga stuff, right? So if Oda has ideas for how he wants to wrap up the Straw Hats character arcs, this is where we're going to start seeing the end game pieces of their final character storylines starting to come together. Two, Elbaf so far has been very Straw Hat centric. What I've loved about here's the biggest thing. Biggest hope for Elbaf. I know what you're saying about the characterizations feel so regressed, because, you see Sanji fucking still simping and everything like that. I mean, he always did that, but I mean, it was same as Whiskey Peak. It felt similar to a Whiskey Peak scenario, but I can agree with it in the sense that it can feel like everything feels a little one note for the Straw Hats so far. They're all playing a simplistic version of themselves, whereas pre-time skip you would see more layers to who they are more frequently, right? However, it's just the beginning of the arc, and I think the arc has given us enough tidbits so far that I feel a degree of confidence that this is going to be a Straw Hat-centric storyline. So let me break it down for you, okay? 1, we already see significant setups for the Straw Hats to get something meaningful individually, down the list for most of them, right? You've got Robin and Saul. That's big, even if I dislike why it's big and why it exists. The reality is that there's a ton of potential connecting Robin to Saul here in terms of her learning more about the lore, her actually getting to interact with a character that will naturally bring out significant character moments and everything like that. So you got stuff for Robin right here, right? History galore for her to learn about. It seems like we're going to learn more this arc. Then Frankie's at the Atom Tree. The fucking Atom Tree that he used to build the Thousand Sunny, we've got here. Let me see one thing real quick. Hold on. Okay, we're good. We've got the Atom Tree. So tons of potential for the Thousand Sunny right here, right? Frankie, whatever we missed in Egghead that we kind of hoped for Frankie, we could get that here with the fucking Atom Tree. The Atom Tree is fucking huge for Frankie's character. Keep in mind, the Atom Tree is so important for Frankie's character that he and his squad of goons, the whole fucking opening arc, opening conflict of Water 7 was Frankie and his squad of goons beating up and mugging Usopp to take his cash so Frankie could go get some fucking Atom Tree wood. That's how important this shit was for that whole storyline and the creation of the Sunny and everything, right? So Robin set up, Frankie set up, Usopp, we fucking know there's a ton of setup for him in Elbaf, right? We don't know what's going to happen exactly yet, but the arc fucking opens with Usopp. It's clearly set up, Oda's reiterating that this is important to Usopp, right? So we're getting stuff for Usopp. Sanji, Brook, Chopper, we don't know quite yet, right? So let's see what happens with them. But the kicker is Luffy, Zoro, and Nami. That trio's together. Anytime that trio's together, you're getting significant drama and character storylines that are going to be kicked off from that dynamic. It's always happened in the story. Again, watch out for Tuesday's video that goes in depth into that, but it's one of the cornerstone pieces of One Piece. I would almost argue that the fact that we strayed so far from that, from arcs like Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, etc., that it's almost representative of the fact that we didn't really focus on the meat of Straw Hat intra-crew dynamics and the dramatic core trio of the story to kick off storylines, right? It was just stuff happening. We all landed on Punk Hazard and shenanigans happened. We all land on Fishman Island and shenanigans happen, right? When you have Luffy, Zoro, and Nami together, that's when you get storylines the Alabasta storyline. That's when you get storylines like fucking Jaya, Skypiea, Water 7 kicks off with a heavy Luffy, Zoro, Nami centric storyline for the majority of the latter half of Water 7. It's just really good. Fucking the Versus 4 Emperor saga kicks off with Luffy, Zoro, Nami deliberating what to do in Zou, right? This is good shit. So a lot of potential there. Again, watch Tuesday's video, much more fleshed out version of what I'm talking about here. And then finally, here's the other thing with Elbaf. So far, the Straw Hats have gotten to be the in the limelight every single chapter. I feel like when we've hit when you hit Wano, very quickly we're just inundated with as soon as the ball gets rolling, it's the focus is more so on the scabbards and meeting new Wano citizens and all of that stuff, right? Dressrosa, same thing. You're meeting Viola, Rebecca, like blah blah blah, like, and it feels like it feels like the Straw Hats become a conduit to tell their stories, right? With Elbaf, we've been meeting characters, but it feels like they are companion pieces to the Straw Hats outside of Loki. Does that make sense? It's felt to me like the Straw Hats are the central focus of every chapter so far, and then the Giants of Elbaf, the ones that we're meeting, one, it helps that we already know a lot of them, and two, it helps that, like, they seem to be just characters that are serving to bounce off of the Straw Hats rather than, like, we're focusing in on their stories first and foremost. So I'm excited for what Oda's going to do for the crew this arc. Again, Loki's really the only character so far that's really demanded attention and become, like, the highlight anytime, like, he feels like main character type focus out of the Giants so far. So I think that's a very, very good sign for Straw Hat focus. Brands SOS, thanks for your first super ever. Chapter 1096, the page panel with Garling and the female knight Gunko has a character wearing Elbaf's sun god mask in the background. Is this Harold? What the fuck? What are you talking about? Hold on. Let me take a look. Chapter 1096. Let's see. Chapter 1096. Hold on. All right. Chapter 1096. You say we see Garling. Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay, let's see. 1096. I'm not screen sharing, right? No. Okay. So we see Garling. Where do we see Gunko? What you talking about? 8th page. Oh, Elbaf's sun god mask in the background. Is this Harold? You're saying like the scary mask, right? I don't know if that's female god. Oh, you said maybe it's Gunko. I don't know if that's Harold. I don't know if that's Harold. That'd be kind of crazy if that turned out to be Harold. I mean, maybe there's something to it. This did take place like 40 years ago, but I just don't know. It doesn't seem to fit the little image of Harold that we seem to get this chapter, you know? Gold Burrito, thanks for the 2. Maybe Loki is the pirate Shanks wanted to talk about. That's an interesting possibility. Because in that case, it would totally... I mean, technically, is Loki technically a pirate? It's hard to say. Does he technically count? Also, let's get the stream likes up to 200 real quick. Let's get the stream likes up to 200. Let's get the stream likes up to 200. I don't know if that would be Loki because it's just... Or sorry, not... Because I don't know if Loki counts as a pirate necessarily. I guess he kind of does. He's got a bounty. Let me see the bounty again. Bounty reveal page. Let's see. Also, random small thing that got confirmed this chapter that no one's talking about is just that the Shanks shit, you know? That's kind of cool. It's a special government bounty. So maybe he counts as a pirate. Yeah, wait, so it was BS that like the Giants said that they managed to control Loki, but they didn't. Hold on. Let me see. The Giants basically lied, right? Hold on. Let me. I'll be right back. Hey, who's being a bad dog? Being a bad dog. Also, I have to come here. Sorry, dogs are being bad. Had to come in and be dad mode to them. All right. Where are we at? To be fair, it is my time to take them out at this point. So we're actually a little bit past. So I probably have to. They get itchy around this point in time. Continuing on. The Outback Pandas. Thanks a lot for the support for 21 months, man. No, we covered this. I'm losing my spot. Loki is the pirate Shanks was talking about. If that was the case, then it would basically mean that in that scene, not only was the character that we thought we were so fucking off about that. Like, nothing about that scene was basically what we thought. Because, like, the character that we thought was Shanks and the pirate that he was talking about, the character that we thought was talking Shanks and the character that we thought he was talking about, which was like Luffy or Blackbeard, turns out that's not even Shanks. And the pirate he's talking about is a pirate we've never even fucking heard of. That whole scene was just a huge gaslight by Oda. At this point, I'm questioning, were those even the fucking Gorosei he was talking to? Or is it just like 5 Bon Clays or something like that? Philly, thanks for being a Pirate King to remember for 13 months. I'm being a bad dog, you say. All right, we're going to move past that. Monte, thanks for the 10. The Gods' Knights might actually descend from soldiers/knights loyal to the original 20 kings. Real-life knights were vassals loyal to their feudal lords and not nobility themselves, much like samurai. Interesting. If that's the case, I don't fucking know. This is too much thinking. This chapter opened so many things lore-wise. It opened up possibilities for the Gods' Knights, for pre-Void Century, the races of the world, multiple Nika fruits, Loki storyline. This chapter is actually mind-blowing lore-wise. I feel like with the Gods' Knights, just the potential. So, like, initially I was kind of like, okay, however strong the Gods' Knights are going to be, it will likely be similar to a Yonko crew, something like that, you know? Like a similar Yonko crew-esque capability. But now I'm thinking, if the Gods' Knights are supposed to be like fucking anybody that Oda like deems strong enough, like if the final battle comes down to you got the Blackbeard Pirates, etc., but then on the Gods' Knights side, it's like fucking stacked ass squad of any and all characters that the Celestial Dragons were like they're strong enough and loyal enough to be Gods' Knights. Again, I mentioned Green Bull could be part of the Gods' Knights. It just fucking changes everything because it's just like it just it's just like holy shit, you could have fucking like a whole squad, like 9-ish characters of Admiral-esque level characters, Yonko First Mate level characters or something. I don't know if it makes sense, but it does open up the realm of possibilities quite a bit. Because again, up to now I've been like Gods' Knights probably just basically just a standard Yonko level crew. You know, like we got Shanks level captain, and then 3 commander-ish level characters, probably First Mate level character, and then like 6 Toby Roppo-esque characters. Like a lot of that's what I think is cool. Like if you look at the Big Mom Pirates, similar structure, right? You got Big Mom, 3 sweet commanders, and then you've got about 6. It's actually remarkably even. Then you've got 6 characters underneath who would essentially be Toby Roppo equivalents, where they're not commander level, but they're right there. So you got the 3 brothers, Perospero, Daifuku, Oven, Strusen, Snack, and then it was implied that Campote is also on that level, because Capone Beige was basically making clear that the veterans of the crew, and he was pointing to Perospero, Oven, Daifuku, Campote as the veterans, are basically also all that level. And then you got Snack, who's a demoted sweet commander, and then Strusen, who's also implied to be above the rest of the crew as well. So it's very similar in structure to the Toby Roppo. So it's kind of following like, 1 captain, 3 top commanders, and then 6 who are the next level, basically. And then if you look at Whitebeard's crew again, 1 top command, like 1 Yonko, Whitebeard, then you got your 3 commanders, and then Whitebeard had 16 total, so doesn't quite add up to the same. So you kind of have to piece out. But some of those commanders were ass, you know? Like, one of them lost to fucking Moria. So I imagine having about 6 that's beneath kind of makes sense as well. Thatch Ace was an exception as well. Yeah, anyway, I'm getting off track here. Let's focus again. D, thanks for the 5. Nika Lost in Translation is like a Bible reference. You're saying like the different interpretations? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, let's get the likes to 200, by the way, because we're almost there. Let me do a poll real quick. Kosh Bendis Moria catching strays for no reason. I'm just saying no Toby Ropo is losing to Moria. You know what I mean? But then you had fucking, what's his name? Blamenko or whatever? Or Curiel. Yeah. Curiel fucking was going toe-to-toe with Moria. It's like the battle of mid-me. I just remember Blackbeard was so upset that they let Moria free. They were like, I can't believe you let Kobe go. And Moria. It's like any fucking random pirate from the Colosseum, Corda Colosseum is like stronger than Moria. I don't know. Maybe it's just because the name is significant, you know? Moria was once like a Chichibukai Kaido competitor, stuff like that. Could the God's Knights... Shit. Are the... Fuck. Will the... Holy shit! Wait a second. I was gonna do a poll. I think I may have just come up with a really cool theory. I think I may have just come up with a really good theory. Alright. You guys ready? I don't want to share it right here. I can't share it right here. I'm stopping the poll. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on. This is interesting. Loki does say, but that would make... I'm sure it's an honor to be invited to join your noble knights, but that would make you celestial dragons, right? So it implies that the God's Knights are celestial dragons. I don't know. This is interesting. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I need a moment. I can't share here. I guess I could. No, I'm not sharing it here. It's not being shared. Hold on. I got to write down two little theories. All right? I'm excited. You guys got me excited now. All right, hold on. Okay, hold on. We got 1 and then 2, all right? Hold on. I think I got 2 juicy things just now. 2 juicy things I can't share with the people. You say a teaser. Even if I say a teaser, it'll spoil it. L, thanks for the 5. Wano issues. Usopp should have defeated the numbers or some of them. Brook versus Apu. Zoro kills Orochi for Yasue. Zoro's lineage. Chopper cures virus. Okay, so let's piece that out. Because I gotta separate basically what would have likely been good for the arc and why Oda likely chose to hold back certain things, right? So Usopp defeating the numbers, I think Oda kind of had to play it kind of binary with Usopp. How to explain this? Generally, with Usopp, you either get one thing or the other. You either get, because Usopp is fundamentally, a weak, fearful, cowardly character, and that's what makes the moments where he steps up so powerful and substantial, right? So, either with Usopp, you're getting an arc where Usopp has some significant moment where he steps up, right? Or you're getting jack shit from him. There's not really an in-between. Maybe the closest in-between is, I don't know, like Fishman Island, but that's when the whole Strats were like cruising. They're all on cruise control, right? But if you go through, it's generally like, okay, Baratier, or Syrup Village, obviously that's Usopp arc, right? Baratier, Usopp doesn't do jack shit. He's just scared, cowardly mode. Oh my god, it's all so scary, etc., right? Arlong Park, big moment, right? Whiskey Peak, nothing. Reverse Mountain, Loketown, not really any Usopp stuff. He's in his usual scared mode. But Little Garden, that's an important arc for Usopp. That's where he first learns about the giants and stuff, and like resolves to be, shapes his dream and everything. And so you get some big ass Usopp stuff. Alabasta, big Usopp arc. Jaya, Skypiea, no, not much anything of Usopp. He has a little bit, like he helps save Nami and stuff, but he's not getting a big character moment, and he's pretty scared. And ultimately, it's Sanji's time to save the day there, right? Water 7, Enies Lobby, Usopp gold, absolute Usopp gold, right? The fucking Fishman Island, nothing. Punk Hazard, a little bit, and then Dressrosa, gold, right? Great stuff in Dressrosa. Then we go several arcs with nothing, right? It's pretty binary, right? In Wano, Usopp did contribute a little bit. He shot those fucking pellets or whatever for Tama's Kibidongos, so he contributes a little bit, but we're not really getting anything big for him. Why? Because we're likely set up to get that in Elbaf, right? So with Usopp, things just have to be kind of spaced out. Thriller Bark also with the Perona stuff, really, really good, right? If you recall, Water 7 Enies Lobby, huge Usopp arc. The 3 arcs prior to that, Jaya, Skypiea, Davy Backfight, nothing really character-wise for Usopp, right? And minor contributions in every arc, right? So when Oda's got really big stuff planned for the character, it's harder for him to do back-to-back big arcs of development for the character. I think the only time I can recall that happening is like Water 7 Enies Lobby into Thriller Bark, right? So Dressrosa, Oda wrote some really great stuff for Usopp's character. Then Whole Cake Island, he's absent. And then after that, you got Wano, where Oda could have done something big for Usopp, but Elbaf is around the corner, and there's so many other characters to focus on in Wano. I think Oda just didn't do it. And then Egghead's an arc where pretty much no Strats got any focus. So I think because everything was building up to Elbaf with Usopp, Oda just went kind of like Zero Dark, just like lights out for Usopp. Like everything just, it doesn't really care about the character for a few arcs prior. That's just the way it kind of goes, because you either need to be writing some significant scene for him to have him step up and man up and do that shit, or it's just going to be nothing, right? Like, or a minor contribution at best, you know? Brook versus Apu. Brook versus Apu, that would have been a cool fight. I don't even know what Oda likes to do with Brook. We've only got one little case study for Brook. There's no patterns. We've got one little case study for Brook and what Oda likes to do with Brook, and that's Whole Cake Island. We got nothing else. So, don't really know what to say with it. Let's get the stream likes up to 200 real quick. Zoro kills Orochi for Yasue. The whole Orochi situation, it's just an ass character resolved with another ass character storyline. Orochi resolved with Hiyori's storyline. Could have done something interesting for Zoro. It's just like, either don't write that shit for Zoro. Either just don't write that shit for Zoro, like in Act 2, or like or have it follow through in some way. I don't know. I don't know what the fix is there exactly. Zoro's lineage, maybe that comes into play later. Again, it's like, either just don't write that shit in, or have it come into play. It's just weird shit, man. Okay. Continuing on. Hold on. Hold on. All right. The Loman, thanks to 2. Nika is live right now. We see him in the second panel. Oh, wait, I missed one. I missed 2. Gobbledy's Nuts, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 3 months. Another theory that's going to delay the Wano video. Not that I care. Wano sucked. Ignorant Weed, thanks for the 10. Jinbei role feels unimportant since we came so far without a helmsman. Frankie could do it just fine. Also, no toast at the end of Wano. Boring interactions with the crew. Waiting for him to do anything. Yeah, they didn't do a cheers for Jinbei, even though they said they were gonna. I'm honestly gonna jot that down. That's significant enough to jot down. I'm gonna jot that down. For Wano stuff. So it's an interesting point you bring up with helmsman, because it's true. The only time they really needed a top tier helmsman was in that instance when Big Mom's tidal wave was going to crush them. But that was a very unique scenario that had never really come up like that before. And also, it's like almost like the only reason that was a problem in that moment was because none of the strong characters are around. If strong characters are around, they're fine. Pre-time skip Luffy and Zoro can punch through a tidal wave, as we saw with Aqua Laguna, right? Like that's perfectly fine, right? So the problem with like big waves is generally not a thing in One Piece. Nami's never even going to navigate them into big waves. So it's a very unique scenario where you had a character, an emperor, artificially create a situation that Nami would not have navigated them to in the first place. And there were also no, like 90% of the Straw Hat crew is missing, or at least all the strong characters of the Straw Hat crew are missing. So in this very specific scenario, you needed a good helmsman to get them out of there. But yeah, generally they've never needed a helmsman. Like, if you look at the story, all of the essentials were early pickups. Navigator, cook, doctor, right? Early pickups, and the story made clear why they were all needed. From then on, it was and then Frankie was, the shipwright was something that became needed, naturally speaking, as the journey went on. You wouldn't necessarily need a shipwright right away, like you would a cook, doctor, whatever. That's like early days, like first couple weeks or whatever. You probably need to pick those up. And then a shipwright, you're about a month in, and you're like 2 months in or whatever, and you're like, wait, the ship's not gonna, like, we need to actually fix this, because they were able to do some patchwork, and that was a big plot point. They were able to do patchwork, but not great patchwork to the ship for a long time, right? So then ultimately they needed a shipwright. So these are all things that organically, as the story's progressing, it's like, okay, it makes sense. We're a little bit in, we need to actually cook better. Okay, we're a little bit in, we're fighting a lot of battles, we need a doctor now, right? We've been sailing for a good point now. The ship's not going to last long because we don't know how to fucking take care of it. We're not shipwrights. We've been doing the best we can, but we're not shipwrights. Okay, now we need a shipwright, right? And then the other people that you're getting are like a fucking archaeologist. No pirate crew ever has been like, we need an archaeologist. You could call her a scholar, but it helps along the way. But, it's like a nice to have thing. Brooke, musician, nice to have thing, right? Then you get to Jinbei and it's like, well, you can be the helmsman. But at that point, they've gone through the entire first half of the Grand Line. You could say that they've circumnavigated half the globe at this point, and then some, because they started from East Blue. So they started from East Blue, traveled through a quarter of the globe, or at least like a good portion, right? Maybe not all the way across East Blue, that's exaggeration, but they've probably sailed fucking 60% of the circumference of the planet, essentially, right? They didn't need a helmsman for that whole period of time. And it's not like the New World currents are like that crazier than the Grand Line, like first half Paradise currents. The difference is actually just the people that are in there, right? The Yonko, the characters are stronger. So the idea that now they're getting a helmsman feels weird. But that's all you can really have Jinbei do, like helmsman. It's kind of like, it's nice to have someone whose job it is to be the helmsman. But at the same time, I'm like, fucking Frankie could just do that job, like you said, because Frankie, for most of the time, he has nothing to do, right? The ship doesn't need repairs every day, so he could be sailing the ship. And the Strats kind of just trade off the helmsman job anyway. I remember Chopper kind of, if I recall correctly, maybe it was an anime thing, but I think we often saw Chopper being the one steering the ship for a while. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just random thoughts. Thanks, Ignorant Reed. The Lowman, thanks for the 2. Nika's live right now. We see him in the second panel. Let me see this. What you talking about? What do you mean the second panel? Oh, Colin. Yeah, I think it's funny that like Colin hits the Nika pose. I commented on that. I think did I comment on that in the stream? Maybe in the chapter review. I forget. But I thought that was interesting. I don't know where Oda's going with it because like you got Bonnie being a tiny Nika, you got Colin acting as like a tiny Nika. I don't know where Oda's going with all this, but you know I think he likes the idea of like focusing on the young generation a lot. It's kind of 3 storylines in a row that we've been really focused on the kids. Like in Wano is Momonosuke, Tama. Egghead Island it was Bonnie, and then here it seems to be Colin. Don't really know where it's supposed to go, but it seems like it's significant for some reason or the other. Shattered Glass, thanks a lot. Sorry I'm late. Also seems they're going for Loki being good guy accused of heinous crime scenario with him rejecting God's Knights and hated by everyone. Yeah, I definitely think that's the scenario with Loki. Poster fell down? Oh, shit. The poster fell down. Well, you guys aren't going to be able to see it now, huh? Unless you get one for yourselves. If you want to check out the link, post it at the top of chat. Thanks, New X7, by the way. If you want to get one of these beautiful posters yourself, then feel free to check out... Hold on. Feel free to check them out here at the Morj store. We've got Fishman Island. This is, again, we went with watercolor style for Fishman Island. The artist did. This is my favorite since Skypiea, personally. And then Elbaf Village, love the way the castle is done. You can see the giants crossing and everything. This is a depiction of the Sun Realm, whereas before we had the full outside shot of Elbaf. This is what you see slipping on the side. This is Subodhi. Subodhi is fucking beautiful. The sun rays, the bubbles. I love the aesthetic of Subodhi. And then Witheria, we went with a bit of psychedelic. Little bit of psychedelic idea for Witheria. So if you want these, feel free to hit that link. And yeah, they could be yours. Let me adjust that poster. Thank you, New X7. I appreciate it. Hopefully that sticks for a bit. Might have to swap out some stuff. Some of the tape. Yeah, I do think Loki's going to be good guy with bad reputation, falsely accused. Snap, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 28 months. Hello, Morj. Another update from Japan. My mother will visit me in Japan soon. I'm looking forward to it. After 1 year, so less depressed in life. I'm happy about that. I'm glad that, like, I actually know people who have traveled to Japan, like, believing that it will change their life or whatever, and it's been mixed results. One friend I know who did that, and he actually really, really loved it there and fit right in, and he taught English and stuff. One friend I know went, and I think that he has had an adjustment period, and maybe it was not all that he imagined. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that change of scenery and different culture and everything like that is really, really working out for you, and that Japan is everything that you had hoped for. I'm also going to call the stream in about a few minutes because I do have to take dogs. I'm just realizing it got pretty late. One other thing, Shattered Glass, by the way, is that the way they talk about Loki, I'm just interested about Usopp's storyline for this arc. Usopp was also this mischievous character in Syrup Village, this mischievous character that everybody in the village really disliked, but they all viewed him as harmless. Loki is seems like a much worse version in terms of reputation than Usopp, and it went all the way towards him ultimately killing his father, supposedly. I really do wonder if we end up with a scenario where Loki is telling the truth, he didn't kill his father, he says that, but nobody believes him because of his reputation, kind of like how nobody believed Usopp in the finale of Syrup Village when Usopp's actually trying to tell them the truth, and they still don't believe him, you know? I think that's interesting. Tom, thanks to 2. Gunko's power reminds me of Mama Zuko's in Jojolion. Mama Zuko's. I gotta... What? Come on. Let me see. I don't remember all the Jojolion stands, because I found a lot of them to be... Oh, fucking this dude... This dude fucking sucked. This dude fucking sucked. And I really dislike this character because it felt like he was a late addition. And as soon as he was added in the story, I suddenly felt like a lot of the way that Jojolion wrapped up, and particularly some of the final scenes, were trying to rip off a lot of what he already did with Steel Ball Run, but just with very, very late planning to get it to that point. Like, the concluding parts, I would go so far as to say the entire final 15% of Jojolion feels like an abrupt copy and paste of the final 10-15% of Steel Ball Run, with none of the actual storytelling weight or impact. It feels very, very tacked on, and it reflects just a lack of planning, I feel, from Araki's side, because I never have felt like planning is his forte. And that's part of the reason I'm so burnt on JoJo's at the moment, is just because Jojolion really had me fucking hooked for so much of it, and then so much of it was just not actually that interesting, or there didn't actually happen to be like a really cool way that all of the mysteries clicked together or anything like that. It was just, it made clear to me that like an author like him, like he has so many strengths as a writer, as an artist, etc. Planning and connecting lots of threads is not one of them. So if that's not your strength, you can't write a mystery story. You can't. Don't do a mystery attempt, you know? So Jojolion really burnt me on that, and it just felt like at the end of the day, he's like, I don't know how to end this. Let me just copy my own manga, Steel Ball Run. I felt like part 4, even though that tried to do a mystery, it kind of skipped the mystery aspect in that Kira was just, it just abruptly tells us Kira's the villain, and now we deal with this. But that was okay, because part 4 had a more simplistic vibe. It was more slice of life, so it didn't really matter that it didn't deliver on like a really juicy mystery. All right, continuing on. Gold Burrito, thanks for the 2. I hope Colin's father is Yuruj, not Scopper. Holy shit, if it's Yuruj, that'd be really cool. But I don't think that guy's Yuruj. That'd be interesting if it is. All right, everybody, I am going to call stream here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah, really, really good chapter. Really excited about the things that were just confirmed with this chapter. And yeah, I will talk to you all later. Watch out for the chapter review tomorrow, and definitely watch out for next Tuesday's video, because it's a solid character breakdown, in my opinion. Some good old-fashioned analysis. So thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you all later.